to Riverside, California for the 6th album from Suicide Silence, and it's called Become the Hunter. So, let us start with the previous Suicide Silence album. It was, best way to describe it, an experiment. And best way to describe it was divisive. In the self-titled album, they decided to go super nu metal. Really try to... I'm not sure if reclaim is the right word, but reimagine, I think, might be closer. Reimagine the sound from like the turn of the century and the couple of years immediately preceding it. As a whole, the album was a mess. As much as there were points that I enjoyed about it, I liked songs like Run, which I thought had a big chord influence in it. I liked songs like The Zero, which I think had more of a Deftones sort of thing to it. Silence as well, which I think just stood amongst itself. I thought, as bad as the album was, there were moments on it that had potential for carving a new sound for Suicide Silence. Their core fan base did not feel the fucking same, nor did most. Actually, no, I think critically it didn't do too badly. It wasn't like album of the year, but they weren't saying it was toilet. Their fan base just went absolutely rabid, and it was so disheartening to see. Some idiot called for the band to break up and tried to make a petition, which got, I think, like 5,000 signatures. That guy's a dick. They basically, Suicide Silence was just doing a cold stop on everything they did that was remotely nu metal. They don't play the songs from the self-titled live anymore already. Only came out, 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago. There's only a little bit of the nu metal still on here, which I'll talk about a bit more in a sec. But it's just a dead stop. And it's such a shame, because you don't want bands just to be the same forever. You want them to experiment. This is why like Metallica get a lot of flack for how much they changed, but you think of all the different people that now listen to Metallica but because of all the different experiments that it did. The reports are that before Mitch Lucker, who was the previous frontman, before he passed away, he was learning how to sing to include clean vocals in a Suicide Silence album. On Black Crown, they were already experimenting with a bit more nu metal and more groove metal kind of influences in there. Although the self-titled was an extreme version of what the reports were saying, and maybe they rushed too much too soon, it was still an experiment. It was still building on ideas that I've been talking about for years prior. And yeah, it's just such a shame that a very toxic side of the heavy metal community just said, no, we don't like this, go back to doing what you're doing. And they have. Suicide Silence are back being a deathcore band. Luckily for Suicide Silence, they are one of the best of that genre. They're probably one of the best deathcore bands that have been. Eddie Hamida on this sounds fucking great. His high screams are just fantastic. He just absolutely kills it on this album. The riffs, the scratches, the solos, the guitar work on this album is fucking brilliant. On the song The Scythe, it honestly sounds like someone owes drummer Alex Lopez money, because he just goes fucking ham. It is everything, it's literally everything you want from a Suicide Silence album, because their fan base has said, this is what we want, don't give us anything different. Feel Alive is a hella brutal song, lyrically, in words and in Eddie's execution. You've got like the chorus, like, I need to kill to feel alive, and the way it is like proper Cookie Monster stuff, but it sounds so fucking brilliant because he can sing and I cannot. Disaster Valley is another great song. I mentioned earlier about there is some very minuscule crossover with like with the new metal from that they tried to do on the previous album. They're in songs like In Hiding and Skin Tight. Like I said, kind of has elements, but it's not enough to say like this is a new metal song or this is deathcore with new metal in it. It's just like pencil shavings sprinkled on top worth of influence. Don't know what that fucking means. This is a good album. This is Suicide Silence being Suicide Silence, and it just so happens that they are very, very good at being them. It's just a shame that, by the looks of it, what they want to do, they cannot, because their fan base and the wider heavy metal community has said, don't do that. I really hope they can find a happy medium. Like I said, the Black Crown had elements of new metal. Who knows what the album after that would have sounded like with Mitch, if he would have got clean vocals in, if they would have brought more new metal in. But I hope for like the next album, it will be a new metal deathcore like meet between, or like hybrid or something like that, just so they can feel creatively satisfied and remember that this is their band, and also it keeps their really finicky fan base happy and content. That was Become the Hunter. Again, very, very exciting deathcore. It's very, very good. I don't think I've done it enough justice by just saying, why can't they go back to being new metal? Which is, they went new metal, everyone complained. Now I'm saying they've gone to deathcore again, and no one can fucking complain. So Suicide Silence can't fucking win, but it's still a great album. Go listen to it. It's called Become the Hunter. It's the 6th album. And yeah, if you don't like it, don't be a fucking asshole. I really spiked on my audacity, so I'm sorry.